Having already played Baylor once, does that help at all?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we know where we. I think we know where we can be better. We know what to look for. We know changes we need to make. It's really. I'm anxious for this weekend because it's kind of full circle. They caught us in our second weekend, and it's just always exciting to see the growth that you've made in that time span. And I think that's really what this team is anxious to show is we're quite a different looking team than we were then. So yeah, definitely does help.
Talking about that growth, how much do you feel like this team learned from that game, and what do you expect to kind of be different this time?
Well, they learned they don't like that feeling. They don't like the feeling when someone beats them or is better than them or what have you, and the response came immediately. So, what we're focusing on is trying to win conference. Ignore that. We're trying to win a conference championship, and it's got to go through Waco, and it's got to go through Stillwater. So we cannot have hiccups. We've got to really go in and attack and grind, and pitchers got to throw well. All parts of your game's got to work. It can't be our pitching and our defense holding it down anymore. And I think our offense had a good time last weekend. So they're ready. They're anxious. They're very excited about it.
Is that lesson more important to learn for the younger players, and how do you think they kind of reacted to what they lost?
I think they were unsure how to react because I don't know that they've ever been on a team that just will lose one or two games in a season. So they saw the upperclassmen, they learned their disappointment, but at the same time, the attitude that we have is we take pride in the idea of not letting anybody beat us twice, and that's something they stand firm on, and that's why they're very anxious to come out and avenge that loss, but really show that they're better. And the freshmen have seen it, they're hearing it, they're learning it, they're listening, and that's the best way to go about it is just have them be around the upperclassmen who set the tone for what we do next.
Is that sort of what you took from last weekend of getting the bats going again?
Yeah, it was important that we feel our swings are back. We just weren't getting our swings off. We were looking at too many pitches, and I think we had more aggressive attack mode early in counts, swinging harder. Balls were hit hard last weekend. I think they felt good about it.
As teams have started to do this, working different pitchers in, sometimes different pitcher every inning, sometimes against you guys, have you had to change anything the last couple of weeks or any kind of adaptations there to preparation?
No, not really. They now have taken pride. Like they said, okay, you got us once, but you're not going to get us again kind of attitude. So they look forward to it. It's almost like, please do it, because we want to show you that it does not trip us up. That's the attitude that they have. And they're sticking to it. So they handled it pretty well out there this weekend, but they're ready. They're ready for it. They're now expecting every team to do that. So it's interesting how their mindset completely shifted to where we're in here and they're like, okay, who do you think the pitcher with the least amount of innings might start? Like they're already getting it all lined up for themselves. I don't know if it's even going to be looking like that, but they're prepared for it, and that's the difference.
Patty, the top 25 finalists were announced for Player of the Year today. All three of your pitchers are on that list. Just how pleased, I know you guys don't focus on individual awards a ton, but just how pleased have you been with how they bounced off each other this year?
I haven't seen anything like it in a long time to have three pitchers. You said that, and I just thought, oh, I forgot to even bring it up. We really don't talk about it. I didn't even say anything about it being posted or anything, but they know. And it's truly that instead of passing the bat, they pass the ball. If they throw 5 and Jordy comes in for the last 2, it's gladly handing it over. Like, they're really a good tag team. They root for each other. They really talk pitching quite a bit. They're their own team within a team. You can feel that. Coach Roach has done a good job of creating that camaraderie with this pitching staff. So there's, at least I don't feel any kind of jealousy or disappointment. It's just about wanting to find a way to win for your team. That's how I feel with all of them.
You've had some great pitching staffs over the years, but I'm not completely asking you to compare them, but is this as tight of a group as you've had? Over the staff?
They're pretty tight from what I see. I honestly am not around them as much. They're in the bullpen quite a bit, but they have kind of this sisterhood going on that you feel, and I think the team feels it as well. So they're very close in that way. I don't know that they're extremely close friends, but they're close pitchers in the bullpen. Very, very tight knit, and I don't know how I would compare them. I just feel with the 3 plus KD, we're in a really good place.
Patty, kind of along those lines, you talk so much about developing depth at the pitching staff. You want multiple players you can go to. That's been a focus of yours. Is this kind of the ideal version of that, or maybe just is this kind of what you have in mind? Like, what's going on right now?
Yeah, I think I felt we could have had a little bit of that feeling last year, and we did have it going on for a bit with Hope improving, and Jordy was still a freshman, she's learning. May was getting better as well, but I feel like May has hit her stride. Alex Storacco is hitting her stride, and I think Jordy is now hitting her stride, and KD is just there eating it up, watching the whole thing, going, give me some. So it's cool to watch. They're all really, I'm not going to say that they're peaking, but they've been trending upwards for a long time. I never felt like, oh gosh, we're in every game. When these guys are on the mound, we're in every single game.
You mentioned Jordan finding her stride. I want to go back, Baton Rouge, going 130 pitches, going 7 innings. Your decision, let her go 7, and what type of confidence that's given her?
Big moment, lots of fans. I think Jordy is fueled by that, and I just wanted to give her that opportunity to feel that again. And I just remember when I saw her at Kentucky as a freshman, and there was a big crowd there, and she was nervous as a freshman, and she would go 3-0. She had a couple errors in the first inning, and she fought her way out of it, and so fired up. And I just thought that the LSU game could kind of mimic that feeling, and it did. Like, she was fired up. She'd come after, like, go 3 straight balls and come back and strike somebody out and be fired up. And it energizes our team as well. It's fun to watch. I mean, everybody knows when they see her, just the passion that these pitchers, May, they all have different personalities. May is very cool and calm, but sometimes she'll let it out. Storacco rips her face mask off. I mean, it's not fake, though. That's what's really cool about this team. It's not forced. It's very passionate about the practice that we put out there. They love to see it kind of open itself up in play, in game, against someone else. So when they see things starting to, show up in what we do in practice, they love that stuff. They get fired up. They're a very competitive group. So,
Patty, what about, you played Baylor so early in the year. As you watch them now, the same team, is it playing the same way, or?
yeah, they've gotten, I think they had 2 huge wins out in Tennessee. That was big time. They've lost a very valuable pitcher to a knee injury, Buford, who's very good and really handled us when we were at her place with a lot of off speed. But they've got a lefty strong lineup. So 7 of their 9 starters are lefties.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for.
It's fine, no one worry. Glenn Moore is very aggressive. And when you're looking at their numbers, you're going, wow, they don't have a ton of home runs. They have a couple who have more than half their home runs. But they're very aggressive base runners. They create a little bit of havoc. They make you have to play good defense. They're going to run. They're going to take extra bases. So they press the envelope. And he always has. And he's doing that with this team. So I think they're better. I think, you better be better from February. I think every team hopes to say by April we're starting to hit our stride. And they've had some big games. They outswung Texas Tech, who's a big hitting team, and won 2 or 3 there. So they're good. I'm telling you, the Big 12 title is going to have to go through Baylor for us. We're going to have to play well, or if we trip ourselves up, now we're putting pressure as we go further on.
Patty, if I can ask one more question. They're talking about it's already sold out down there and things like that. And everywhere, you guys go, and I see a lot of programs now drawing big crowds and things. Have you ever thought much, and maybe you don't because you're still in the moment, how much Oklahoma has helped transcend this sport? Now, I mean, you guys are kind of at the forefront everywhere you go. And people are lining up for autographs and things. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, you know what it is, and I felt it this weekend as well. But you know what? It's like we're not trying. We're not trying to get this attention. It's just the way they play that's so appealing to a lot of fans and a lot of young girls, and they have heroes and things that kids never had before. Their heroes would be Major League Baseball players, but now they know these names, and they're wearing Jocelyn Allo, Jada Coleman, T.R.A. Jennings, Jordy Ball. They all have their own jersey lines. These kids are buying their jerseys, and when we went out this weekend, I did not know what to expect. I've never played out there. I know softball isn't quite as strong interest as it is in the West Coast and Midwest. Going out there, when we showed up, I was wowed by the amount of fans. Their coach told me, we don't charge attendance, but we're charging. So now, all of a sudden, I'm getting DMs, which I never answer, so don't. But it's asking me for tickets, and my daughter loves you guys, and we're going to drive 7 hours, and I don't know if I can get tickets. I mean, I'm getting over and over, and I'm like, don't look, don't answer, don't look. But I'm like feeling like I want to do something to help you. But that's really how we always feel. It's like we want you to get an opportunity to feel this or to experience this, but it's happened so often that you're like, I don't know, I can't keep doing this. But the fans out there were great, big Sooner contingency. They were yelling my first name out as I'd walk to the third base coaching box, and they were grown men doing it. So I'm like, okay, don't turn around, don't look. They're screaming for Jordy Ball. They're screaming, little kids are crying, wanting to get their ball, signed. We signed after for about 25 minutes, and one mother is having a meltdown because her daughter didn't get Jordy Ball, and the girl's crying, and I'm standing right in front of them, like, give me the ball. I go on the bus. Jordy signed this. She does. We give it back to the girl. Now she's crying with happiness. I mean, we're just players. I'm just a coach, but we're in this like very emotional whirlwind of excitement that we don't know how to manage sometimes. I know we just try to be gracious and humble, but it is quite overwhelming. It's a long answer to it, but it's still overwhelming to us.
Cool, though, because
Very cool, but
2
overwhelming.
years ago, this wouldn't be going on.
No. But you guys are talking about us on the radio, and you're writing articles about us that, 10 years ago, you were not paying attention, and I knew that. But now it's the talk of the town, just like women's gymnastics as well. So women's sports are, the basketball national championship was something everybody was talking about afterwards for many different reasons, whether it's stress or this stuff, all that craziness. So, yeah, it's a great time in athletics to be female athlete, but the goal is to keep pushing, keep going, keep pushing, keep bringing fans, build these stadiums. I'm very fortunate to have a athletic department and athletic director who believes in, adding more seats, and that's important. So it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Thanks, Coach.
All right,
Thanks,
thank you
Patty.
guys.